And my entire process towards it had been one of, well, I don't really know what I want to do with my life, so I think law school will give me a lot of options. And there were a lot of people I admired who had gone to law school, but who were not lawyers.
Okay.
You know, at that time, Obama, for example.
That was what you were going for?
Well,
like President of the United States?
I knew
Many
he'd been.
presidents.
What the fuck?
I knew he'd been a lawyer, but he'd also been like a community leader. Like you could go into politics.
Yeah, I'm on the Obama path. What? What are you doing with your life? Well, you know that guy Obama?
yeah.
I'm kind of following in his footsteps a little bit.
Welcome back to Oops the Podcast.
All right, lots to unpack here.
I got something for you.
Please, Julio, I don't know where you came up with that idea.
Dude, this guy was a huge turkey.
What is this, Japan? Which is
Yeah.
one of the reasons why I hadn't told you about it.
No, and I also just assumed you were saving it for the pod if you were going to tell me,
Yeah.
which of course you were.
Oh,
But-
yeah.
Little fucking puny Mike. I mean, look at this thing. This is like...
Do you want to sit here?
No. Credit to you. Are we rolling?
Yeah.
Let's start, because you guys, credit to you, just emasculating me. Look at this fucking thing. This is the smallest, littlest, shittiest mic.
We could swap it with this one. I don't.
It's a good thing I'm not a diva, because I could go all Ellen on your guys' ass and be like, what the fuck? Get
I'm
these
outta
people
here."
out of here. This stupid little mic. Look at it. Like, this is like a Fisher Price.
It's a toy.
Yeah.
Toy.
This is your first mic. Every kid's first podcasting equipment. What's up, guys?
What's up, dude?
That's Big Cat, everybody. We're recording.
Yeah,
right?
we're
Yeah.
rolling.
We've got Big Cat on Oops the Podcast today. Thanks for being here.
Of course, I was excited to come in. I had big plans for my birthday with my family, but then you're like, "Hey, can you come on the podcast?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude."
Is today your birthday?
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
happy birthday,
Yeah,
Big
yeah,
Cat.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm overwhelmed. Normally I do these grandiose introductions of our guests, but
I don't need one. No.
you've
That's
sent
not-
the ship steaming all steam ahead.
I'm more like it's more the meme like I wasn't familiar with your game. Like I'm gonna start doing this to my guests. Being like, here's a little stumpy chode of a mic,
Negotiation
and
tactic.
just so you feel really uncomfortable, and we just sit above you. Like this is you guys taught me something today.
Yeah, that's great. Set him off, make him uncomfortable, right on the bat, off the bat.
Dude, phenomenal.
It's great to have you, man. You are such a talent and such a star, obviously, in the world. And we have so much we want to talk to you about.
Oh, we do.
Do you know Julio?
Yes, I know Julio.
You guys have become kind of chummy.
Yeah, I like
chums.
Julio a lot.
You guys
I
have
like
chummed
him.
it up.
He's kind of like he's like the heart and soul of this podcast.
Sure.
If I had to describe it.
I'm fine with that. I'll live with that.
No, I'm just kidding.
He's
No,
I don't have soul.
yeah, Julio is, I love seeing Julio around the office. It's been fun having him come on the yak every now and then. He's got a fucking fat ass.
Yeah.
Like the fattest ass.
Yeah.
Every time he walks by, I think you're allowed to objectify other men if you're like cool with them.
Uh-huh.
Is that?
I'm fine with it.
I
Yeah.
agree, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you've never, I guess this is how it always starts, where it's like, Julio's going to sue Barstool. I'm like, bro, he said he was cool with it.
Building his case.
We have you on camera saying you're cool with it.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, no, you guys I'm a big fan of both of you guys, and
Thanks, man.
excited to be on.
Hell
And
yeah.
I saved, this is going to be for anyone out there who's listening, knows exactly what I'm talking about. I saved my first Zin of the day for this show. So I just put it in.
Wow.
People who have a nicotine addiction like me know that's, you don't just do that for anyone. Because I waited all the way till 11 o'clock in the morning.
Damn.
There's a few, do you
No.
Zin? Okay. There are people who definitely are listening right now. They're like, that was the biggest like compliment you could give these guys.
Means a
Damn.
lot, dude.
Yeah.
We're
Means a
honored.
lot.
Yeah.
We tend to be a podcast that guests will hold a big thing for.
What do you mean?
Like Roan broke the news of where Kanye West was hiding on our show, and that went viral. And you're doing your first. I mean,
Zin, first Zin. Yeah,
First
that's
Zin.
just as big.
Zinning.
As Kanye.
Yeah.
First Zin of the day. First of like, I don't know, like 14 of the day. But yeah, first of the
Damn.
day.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, I think this is a
Good.
good place to sort of get into some of the things. We want to not ask you what every other Barstool podcast or a podcast that you do asks you, you know,
That's our goal, at least.
how'd you get here?
I
and
make
all that.
$75,000 an episode.
Yeah.
We started getting paid in Bored Apes, which is a problem. But, yeah, that was we made that switch, and it hasn't gone well. Have you guys gotten into crypto? I don't want to hijack. I want to get to the question. Have you guys gotten into
please.
crypto?
I have, yes.
Yes, we have.
Julia definitely.
I was buying Ethereum at various intervals, and my first purchase of it was years and years ago when it was, I don't know, like 12, basically where it is now, and then it ripped all the way up to $4,500 or something, and I was like, man, this is an easy game. Telling all my smart trader friends, you gotta get in. And then I, watched it really tumble, and I managed to get out when it bounced off the floor back to like $1,600, and I was like, this is a bad idea, and I sold it all, and then it very quickly precipitously dropped to like $1,000, and I thought, man, I really won, but I just got my tax form from Coinbase saying like, hey, it's time for you to declare your earnings, and then in that email they just quickly tell you like, fortunately you do not have more than $600 of earnings from your crypto, so you won't owe taxes.
Oh,
And I was
nice.
like, that's a huge
that's
win.
solid.
But then
That's
I opened
huge.
the actual form, and I had convinced myself that I hadn't lost that much money
Oh,
because
you
I did
lost.
get out at a time when I
Yeah.
was like, and I lost $9,500.
Shit.
And I
That's
was
an
like,
L.
ooh,
It's a big L.
I might
Damn.
need to revise.
What about you, Julio?
Dude, I honestly made some killer moves, to be honest.
Yeah?
I like peak of NFT season, I like flipped something for like a huge gain that then just tumbled.
Okay, because I've always I understand like the crypto people are passionate about it. I'm never going to judge that. I don't understand it. Like I'm not smart enough to understand how it all works. And I remember walking, I think it was down like 7th Ave one day, and this dude stopped me and he was like, "Big Cat, you got to fucking get into Bored Apes, bro. I just sold my ape for $180,000, like just fucking all profit." And I was like, this is the moment it's all bullshit. Like if someone just is stopping me on the street and saying this,
Yeah.
but you were able to flip your NFTs.
Yeah, I like the only sort of like valuable, like very valuable ones that I had, like I sold them all. So like, yeah, I sold everything, but especially like this one in particular, I sold for like a significant amount of money.
Yeah.
Like relatively speaking, not $200,000, but so I have not like and any losses that I've had, so I haven't like lost money doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always thought like, so I understand like crypto, Bitcoin makes sense. And I think it started with great intentions. But then when COVID happened and the economy took a tumble and literally every single person was like, oh, like the economy's down, everyone's locked inside. Now they've found this get rich quick
Right.
scheme. Not everyone can get rich at the same time.
Right.
Mhm.
And so I was like, this doesn't feel like it's going to work out.
Yeah.
Totally.
I was like gifted NFTs. I don't even know how to get them.
Oh,
like,
shit.
they gave
you
me,
should
like,
see
the-
what they gave you, dude.
Yeah, they gave me like the two-factor thing where I had to
Yeah.
write down a password, lost it right away.
It has like the different words. in
yeah,
it,
yeah, and it just lost it right away. So I don't. I think I have some crypto, but I don't know how to access it.
Got
So it's
it,
just
got
out
it.
there forever.
Yeah, that's funny.
I think the real warning sign that in quarantine that should have been a red flag for me was that the value of stupid stuff
Yeah,
skyrocketed.
yeah,
Yeah.
And I fall right into it.
Yeah.
Watches, boats,
yep,
things like this that only morons get into. Wine.
yeah.
It's like one after another. Just
Wine.
I'm gonna need that. I guess I need to know about wine now.
Wine, dude.
Watches. I really fell hook, line, and sinker.
Wine is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Wine is one I've never gotten into, thankfully.
I'm
Not there yet.
I'm starting to
You're starting to
think
get
I
into-
might have to become a wine guy.
Really?
Yeah.
Looking at the legs.
It does fit. You can do it. You can pull it off.
I just don't know. The thing is that I don't know if I have a discerning enough mouth.
Right.
I think that is a you either have a good mouth or you don't.
No,
Right.
you can train the palate.
No, I don't know.
Isn't that what it's
G.
about? With wine, you learn.
I think some people truly have the ability. You watch that Doc movie,
I need to watch
and there
it.
are people who can taste a sip of wine blind and say that comes from this acre.
Wait, was that
And
the
this-
guy who like conned everyone? No, what was that one? Was there a documentary about a guy who conned everyone with wine. Maybe I'm making this up. All right, never mind. Sorry.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
It's
This one is
possible.
about
Find that
passing.
for me because it will drive me nuts.
It's about getting like your master sommelier license or whatever. You getting the classification of the top one.
yeah.
And there's only like 200 or 300 in the world. And part of their test is that they have to take a blind sip of a wine, and multiple, and determine like what
You need talent at
10-mile
that point.
region of France or Spain
Yeah,
that
yeah.
comes from, what year, and what grape and all of this.
That seems like a shitload of work, though, to impress just a very small, finite amount of people. Because, like, if you told
Yeah.
me that you were a master sommelier, I'd be like, cool, don't care.
Nice,
Right.
dude.
You know what I mean? And
Right.
so I feel like you'd have to just be in that one, like, little group where everyone was super impressed by it. Otherwise, it's a waste.
Unfortunately, I find
Yeah, you
myself in
probably are
that
in that
group.
group.
A lot of those.
Sour grapes. There was a documentary. This dude was basically pretending that he had this incredible wine. He was just, it was a fake.
Oh, he's
And he was selling like this World War II wine from France that was they only made 200 bottles, and he was just counterfeiting all of it.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good documentary.
That's
Okay.
cool.
Yeah, you should watch it.
check that out.
It is
Yeah.
interesting. Like even sometimes, like not that this is the same thing, but like there are things that shake up the sort of wine industry. Like I remember when like the $2 bottle of wine at Trader Joe's was like defeating incredible
Yeah.
expensive bottles
Mhm,
of wine. I always
mhm.
find that kind of shit interesting.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Wonder what the Psalms would say about that, dude.
Yeah, they probably
Yeah.
wouldn't be too happy.
Well, I have so many questions for Big Cat,
Yeah,
but I'm
dude.
enjoying this sort of non-prepared side of things.
Well, I have two other non-prepared things.
Please.
One,
Yeah.
Francis, I want to give you credit. I was on the BQE on Saturday. Blocked someone in the breakdown lane.
Makes me happy.
Oh.
Makes me happy.
He was legitimately very upset.
Yeah.
Yeah, like very, very upset.
Oh yeah, they'll get that way.
It was. I actually took a picture of it because I wanted to show you because it was like he was mad,
Yeah.
mad, and I totally get where you're coming from. It was an absolute thrill. This guy was he was so pissed. Yeah, he was so pissed.
I
at
think
me.
I think I know where that is.
Yeah, it's right by Dumbo.
right
So,
where
yeah.
there's
There's the Tillery Street.
Yeah, right by Cabinet
Mhm.
Plaza, Tillery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and people will ride the exit as though they're going to get off the Dumbo exit, but then they'll keep going.
Yep.
And then you know that they're full of shit.
So that was absolutely thrilling.
Yeah.
And then the second thing I had, Julio, I don't know if you know this, but Francis tried to cuck you a little this morning.
What was he doing?
So Francis and I live across the street from each other. He tried to offer me a ride in. I had to turn it down because, like, what were we going to talk about?
Wow.
We're about to do a podcast together.
Wow.
I hadn't.
I
thought of
would have
that.
taken a ride in on a normal day, but like, what the?
I
Are you
hadn't
trying
thought
to
of
just
that.
you just trying to get the best combo out? How are we
You
gonna
dog.
how are we gonna sit in a car together for 30 minutes, then sit down and do a podcast?
That's a good point, Big Cat. Because the whole podcast, I would have been like, so gee, Big Cat and I were talking
Yeah,
about
right,
earlier.
exactly.
Like, oh, here we
I
go.
was like, nah, dude, this is fucked up. You can't
Remember,
do this.
remember earlier today when we were
Yeah,
laughing
yeah,
about
right.
that thing as you turned up the heat?
So I turned it down for out of respect for you, Julia.
I appreciate
Yeah,
it, dude.
I got you.
I have offered Big Cat a lot of rides into the office. The hit rate is not high.
No.
I honestly, I will say that my expectations in coming back to work at Barstool and knowing that you and I were neighbors, my expectations for the frequency with which we would carpool were far higher
Yeah.
than how it has manifested.
Yeah, I think it's just like I honestly, so we've done it a couple times, but
At best.
I mean, I'm like probably 50-50 train and then drive in. It's usually when I have like, I'll do like a radio hit in the car or something, but it's more that like I have very few moments to myself,
Mm-hmm.
and that's one of them, and I cherish that.
Yeah.
You deserve it.
Yeah, so I need that.
We'd like to get to that a bit.
Yeah.
Because, dude, as two sort of aspiring fathers who intend to maintain our dynamic careers, we look to you as a beacon of hope.
Yeah.
And we'd like to learn.
Appreciate
We'd
that.
like to know if there are any secrets or
No.
methods to your madness.
No, it's chaos. It's constant chaos because it's either working or being home parenting, and it's And I'm at the point now where my kids. So my son's 3.5, my daughter's 1.5, and like if I'm taking a shower, if I'm taking a shit, they'll just walk in and just be like, "What's up? What are you doing?" So there's no time. There's zero time to myself whatsoever. Like my son enjoys watching me shower. It's fucking creepy.
Well, it's better
He's a
than the other
creep.
way around. you
Yeah,
know?
that's true. Well, I do give him a bath every night, so I
Yeah.
guess I guess it is fair play on his from his perspective. He's like, "You're giving me a bath. Why can't I watch you shower?" I never even thought about
That's
that.
honestly
Yeah,
fair. That's
He's
fair.
totally in the right in this case. I can't complain about it if I'm the one giving him a bath. But yeah, it is chaos. It's awesome. You know what's funny is being a dad. Like I actually, everyone comes to it at their own time, like when they're ready for it. But I do actually think that I wish I had kids a little younger because I'm like doing the math in my head when they're gonna be like teenagers, college, all that stuff, and I'm like, oh fuck, I'm in my 50s, so. I in a weird way, I like that's probably the only regret I have is not having them sooner.
Wow.
So, what do you think is going to be tougher in that you'll be in your 50s when they're teens or something like that? What is hard about that? What sucks about that?
It's not hard. It's just that there's a certain like you want to enjoy it when like your kid like just seeing how my kids interact with their grandparents and like how fun that is and like you wish you were kind of, maybe a little younger when all that happens. So I don't know. I mean, hopefully I'm healthy and still spry and have the energy in my 50s and 60s. But, those are like when your kids grow up, I'm sure it's very fun and seeing them start their lives. And so I just do the math and I'm like, that kind of sucks. Like I wish, I was maybe a little bit younger.
I think my corollary to that would be, and it's just a guess, but that, perhaps your career might have not been in the place.
Agreed.
You've benefited from holding off in a way where you've had more time to focus entirely on your career.
Definitely, because there's definitely Barstool on a whole. Like it's weird because we're so focused on the moment and just every day trying to make stuff and entertain people that I don't think we take a lot of time to reflect like how hard the climb was and how many years the climb took. And, David's doing it for double everyone else. So you're absolutely right. There was definitely a lot. I mean, I still have to work a lot of hours. There's still a lot of times where I wish I was home, but I can't be. But yeah, you're absolutely right that there was it probably would have been bad to try to have kids in like my late 20s when I was really had to like put the pedal to the metal.
Are you working less now than you were a couple years ago? Have
we're
taking your foot off the gas?
Well,
at
this
all?
is football season, so we're about to end football season. I would say the only thing I've changed is I've done a better job of like in the off season of football season being home more. Because football season I think forever is just going to be chaos and it's going to be a time crunch and it's going to be, weekends and all that stuff. But learning like in the summer I don't have to be in the office constantly when there's not football on. So that's probably the more like the better management I've been able to find. But having kids is awesome. You guys should do it. It's fucking fun. It's so much fun.
Yeah, dude, I'm like getting there. I'm heading that way. I'm officially stressed out hearing you talk about the mortality math.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting up there.
How old are you?
36.
Okay.
So,
I'm 33.
Okay.
But I'm
Today's my 38th birthday. I don't know if I said it was my birthday or not.
That's
Happy
awesome.
birthday again, dude.
That's a good age.
No, it's a terrible age.
Why?
Because what is 38? It's like
Well, you still have a couple more years until you're
You're
40.
a young man, dude.
nah. I liked turning 30. 30 was fun.
Yeah.
38's like nothing.
Mm.
It's just like just get to 40 already. Let's get on with it.
Yeah.
Well, okay. It is a big year.
What?
Well, and I don't want to get too into the weeds here, but we are very near
Yeah.
the Penn Gaming
Yep.
takeover
Yep.
of Barstool,
Yep.
which I think it's fair to assume you will be a beneficiary of.
Yep.
Are you excited about that?
Yeah. Of
Sick.
course.
Sick.
Yeah.
That is, we get very excited when people we know make money.
Oh.
We do.
We get
Okay.
real
Dude.
secondhand pride.
Yeah.
There's no jealousy. It's just that is fucking awesome. You deserve it.
Thank you.
I want you to spend money stupidly and to be rich. I want you
Yeah.
to be
Well, I
really
already.
rich.
Well, let's just clarify. I already was rich.
Good.
We love that.
That's what
We love that, dude.
This is
Hell
that
yeah.
podcast.
Let's go.
That's what we're for.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
No. It's weird. I don't. I'm not a good rich guy in the fact that like I don't really spend on anything. It just means I can gamble more responsibly.
Nice.
But I
Yes.
can because I
Yes.
can respond. I have the funds to be able to gamble more.
Were those
So,
bets your actual bets on
Yeah.
those T-shirts? Holy shit!
Yeah.
Dude.
Oh, those were yours?
Yeah. What do you think I'm wearing someone else's bets on my t-shirt?
I
I
wasn't
kind
sure.
of did. I thought somebody had
No.
submitted those to
No,
you.
those
Oh,
are
dude,
mine.
that's sick.
So for those of you, Big Cat had 2 T-shirts. One was it a Kansas City Chiefs?
No, it's Bengals,
Bengals.
unfortunately.
Bengals.
Yeah.
But your Eagles won.
Eagles 22-1. I think it's like 8,500 to win 190,000.
Are you gonna hedge?
Jesus.
No,
Wow.
I don't think so.
Legend.
Wow.
Because I just want I like the feeling of like, let's go. I got my team. My team is on the floor. Let's fucking roll.
Unreal.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
Unreal.
That's really awesome.
But
I
yeah,
mean-
I'm a bad rich guy. I don't do anything. I don't spend any money on anything cool. I'm not a good rich guy. Like I don't really. I wish I had a better answer because it's like, I ask this question all the time of athletes, like when they sign the big contract, like what's the big thing you purchased? I don't know, fucking know.
You're moving
Shoes. I don't really have shoes. I did try to do shoes for a while.
Mm-hmm.
That
Didn't catch.
I ended up wearing the same pair of shoes every day.
You're moving to Chicago shortly.
Yes.
I think you could have a little fun with a house.
Yeah, a house, maybe, a couple vacations here and there, but yeah, I don't
Yeah.
I'm a pretty simple guy.
Mhm.
Like I really just like to gamble.
Well, then
Like I don't really
That's common,
let's
bro.
help
Yeah.
him a little bit.
What's
Can we
some ideas?
offer you what would let me just give
Yeah,
you,
okay.
All right, so here's some things that I could see you really enjoying
Okay.
in your new house.
Okay.
Heated floors.
Okay. Yeah.
Let me tell
We
you
can try
something.
that.
You step out of the bed on a cold Chicago winter morning. There's, dumping snow out the window. By the way, motorized blinds.
Okay.
So you click a button and the blinds come up, and you just see that absolute
Okay.
There's a dance of snow flurries battering the
Beautiful.
windowsill.
Yep.
They
Yep.
open
Right,
slowly.
and
Okay.
you step out of the bed and you put your bare feet down on the floor, and there's
Mhm.
radiant heat wafting over your toes.
That's pretty good.
Pretty good.
buddy.
That's pretty good.
There you go. That's a
I like
start.
that. That's a start.
I think you
That's
need
a
a
start.
Patek, dude.
A what?
You need like a $50,000 watch.
No, see that's the thing. I don't.
Yeah. He can't do that.
Yeah.
It would look
Because-
sick, dude.
No, but his brand is one of connectivity and you maintaining
But that's not
this,
even. It's not like a brand. Like it's not. It's just who I am.
Right.
Like I'm.
About
If
it.
I had the perfect, like, if I could write out the perfect rest of my life, it's just make enough money to have a couple houses, and one of those houses lives next to like a racetrack, and just bet horses in retirement. I don't golf. Like, have enough money to be able to just, watch sports and bet on the games.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't really do, other than, my work. That's the thing, is like the reason why I like doing my job is because it really is no different than what I would be doing if I
Yeah.
was working you know what I mean?
Mhm,
Like I would
mhm.
I'd be watching the games, I'd be gambling on the games. I just get to talk about them for a living, which is awesome. It's
Yeah.
a dream job, but I really wouldn't be much different if I had no money.
Yeah. Well, that's what's made you such a beloved person here. For
Yeah,
so
but
long.
I wish I was a better, like I wish I had, I don't know. I wish I had like something I'd want to. You would make a great, really rich guy.
Yeah, I know.
Like you got the
Stuck in
sommelier
this-
and shit. And you too, Julio. You travel. Like I
Yeah,
don't even want
true.
to travel.
Yeah.
Yeah, we like
I don't fucking want to travel.
we like
Because
stuff.
because the thing about traveling is like, you go to fucking Afghanistan, you go to Italy, you go everywhere. Do they have the NFL games on? No. Do they have?
You could probably find him. You're not watching
Yeah.
NFL in Afghanistan.
Do they have? Yeah.
That's
Do
for
they
sure.
have like Villanova Marquette?
No shot.
No, exactly. So I don't want to be there. That's my problem.
Yeah.
I start to get like anxious, thinking like, oh, if I take a trip, like,
You won't be able to.
what the hell?
I could
can't-
see Julia wandering into a bar in Afghanistan being like, you guys don't have red zone in
Yeah,
here.
right,
And
right.
they're like,
That would
"No,
be me.
But there is a beheading happening in the square at 12. It's the closest
pretty
we've
good.
got.
Yeah.
You know?
I wish I had a different answer for some big thing I was going to spend money on.
That's okay. That's okay. We'll keep,
We'll keep
peppering
thinking
you
for
with
you.
some suggestions.
Yeah.
Where are you gonna move? Do you know yet? Like in what general area?
Yeah, I'm gonna live in the city, so
Okay.
Oh, nice.
yeah, and the office is gonna be 6, so I guess that's not my money, but
Nice.
that would be cool.
Mm.
Sick.
So
That'd be
it's gonna be
awesome.
like a big warehouse. We've think finalized where it's gonna be, so it'll be big warehouse, basketball court, a
Sick.
bunch of new studios.
Styled a little bit like the Pat McAfee office in
Yeah, or like
Indianapolis.
yeah, or like Rob Dyrdek.
Mhm.
Fantasy.
sick.
I loved watching the Fantasy Factory. Robin Big was such an awesome show.
Classic.
So like
A
that kind of
classic.
stuff where we have space. And I weirdly like when I moved to New York, I didn't really like it. It has grown on me. I will miss parts of New York, but the space part, I will definitely not miss. Like,
Totally.
Just this office is we're crammed in here.
Mhm.
Like you guys have this studio like that's someone else's. Like having to block in time.
Right.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah. We're coming
Yeah.
up, bro. Got it out the mud.
Mm-hmm.
Who's gonna? Yeah, it's gonna be interesting with the power plays that happen on like who gets the Pardon My Take studio space.
Oh.
It's not going to be us.
No, I don't think we're. I don't think we're.
What if I just granted it to you guys?
Oh, God. That would
We
be
would-
I
sick.
just need 5 Bored Apes.
We would pay for your. I would pay for your radiant heated floors. I would install the radiant heated floors. I got a guy. Yeah.
That would piss so many people off if I was like, actually, it's Julio and Francis.
Yeah.
I'd be like, are you serious?
Yeah.
That'd be so epic.
That's
Just
amazing.
leave our gear in there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey, you
wow.
guys set up the whole thing.
That'd be
So
awesome.
We'll think.
Yeah.
Maybe do like maybe PFT and I will just be like FIFA and we'll do like a really corrupt bidding system for it. That would be awesome.
I like that.
How many migrant workers are you willing to kill?
You kill one, it starts getting a lot easier. I'll be honest. It hasn't been hard
killed
for a
one.
while.
Fun fact, Chris.
What's
This is
up,
very
Julio?
applicable to you, but Manscaped now sells beard products.
Oh, Chris.
For a beardsman like yourself, we've seen Chris grow from a boy to a man with a killer beard
That beard is for real.
that can function in any circle. Chris could be some sort of high-end bartender or a guy who hangs out with rappers. Anything that a good beard like that would be good for.
Yeah.
Chris has got it. Chris, do you have anything to say for yourself?
Yes. That's it.
See? Man of few words, as most beardsmen are. The beard
Yeah.
speaks for itself.
We all know, though, that any good beardsman must have the best tools of the trade, and that comes in the way of Manscaped.
You're darn right. It's time to tame your mane.
Tame your mane, my mane.
No one likes a weird beard, so say goodbye to all your stubble trouble with Manscaped Pro Beard Kit.
Wow.
All starts with the Beard Hedger. Hedge your bets with this electric beard hair trimmer. It's a premium beard sculpting machine, cordless trimmer with a rotary wheel, 20 hair cutting lengths, all with one guard. No more messy drawers full of add-ons. Plus, it's waterproof. So, Chris, you can shave in the shower. Also, be sure to get some beard shampoo and conditioner, some beard oil, some balm. It's good stuff. Get 20% off now and free shipping with code OOPS at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Use code OOPS.
Let me ask you this. I brought up Pat McAfee. I have an interesting question, and I don't want to make you uncomfortable. So if you don't like this, you can choose not to answer it, of course.
Okay.
Pat McAfee, when he got his gigantic, I think it was FanDuel
Yep.
deal,
Mm-hmm.
I have been told by various birds in this office that was not a good day for Barstool. Because it made it clear that personalities of that caliber, and I would put you right there with him, were potentially worth $30 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if when that happened, was there a moment where you were like, Jesus Christ, like I could be getting that?
So, yeah, I mean, of course, you're human. You think of that stuff. But the thing I would say is the best, like, there's a lot of great characteristics that Dave has. Loyalty's at the very top of it. And Dave, this is going back to 10 years ago. Every time I thought I was underpaid, Dave has corrected that before I could, like, be upset about it. So he's always been very, like, in tune with that and always been very fair with me and been like, you need to get more money. Like, you need to be paid more money. And, as much as like that, you think like, oh man, if I were a free agent, I've never been a free agent. I don't think I ever will be. I keep signing like, I signed like a 5-year deal and then like 2 years into it, I signed another 5-year deal.
Oh,
So
wow.
I'm basically like, I'll die with Barstool. But there is like, obviously people have approached me, like people have talked to me before, and my answer's always been the same. I don't see any world where I would want to leave Barstool because I like what I have here, what we've built here. This is like, it sounds cheesy, but it's family. And what we built here is so important, and the fans and like the community, all of that means more than a big payday. And more than anything, I don't want to have a real boss. You know what I mean? I don't want to have, if you go out and do something else, you have to start answering to someone that you don't have a relationship with, that doesn't let you have the freedom that you have here. So none of that would ever be appealing to me. Yeah, money is cool, but like there's a lot of other things that are involved in Barstool that outweigh that, in my opinion. As you know, I obviously, you know, like I said, there's been times where I've been underpaid, and Dave has corrected that. So maybe if he didn't correct that, I'd have a different feeling. But I just can't imagine wanting to go like work somewhere else. I just
like a little more money.
Yeah,
Like,
right. It would, because my life
the
would just
point?
be, I would just have to answer to people that I don't want to answer to, do things I don't want to do. Like I don't do anything I don't want to do here. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so that's why it's the best job ever. And then there is the aspect of, we built this thing. Like it's a crazy story. And I feel very invested in being part of, you know, what was built here and what we've like established. And I take that very seriously. So it is kind of a family thing. And this is all going to backfire on me when I have to negotiate for a new deal. Like they're just going to play this clip and be like, well, we're family, but it's the honest truth. I don't know what to say. Like, I know I just fucked myself. My agent's probably watching this like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? But I've told him the same thing too. Cause you know, he gets the calls and he'll tell me and I'll be like, yeah, okay, that's fine. Like, that doesn't really sway me.
Wow.
There's power in that, dude. You know what I mean? You don't want it. Like you said, you want for nothing. There's nothing in your life. You don't even know what to spend your fucking money on.
Right.
How are they going to poach you?
And I think there's also, I'm obviously in a specific category where I love my job and I get paid very well to do my job. So it's easy for me to say this, but I do think like just not being able to get a sort of confidence in your life, and it comes with age, of like, what you have is good. Don't worry about what everyone else has. And getting that like peace of mind gives you so much freedom, where you know, money's money. Like having money's great, but having happiness is way more important.
Okay.
This is good for Francis.
It sure is. But then I have to ask, what motivates you?
I mean, I want to entertain people. I want to be, I think I'm a pretty competitive guy when it comes to the content and trying to be the best and trying to keep people engaged and building that fan base and having people invested in my stupid ass being able to talk about the things I want to talk about. So
Yeah.
and you know, Barstool continuing the climb motivates me.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Competitiveness.
I think
I like that.
You need the drive from
Yeah.
somewhere.
I think it'd be foolish for anyone who's successful to not admit that competitiveness is part of what has made you successful. Like you can pretend that like, oh, I don't really care. No, you care.
Mhm.
Like I care. I absolutely care, and I want to be the best. And so, yeah, that would probably be the thing that drives me every day. And I think there's also, you know, it's weird being in this spot where I do have a little bit of, and I've said this before, but like some days I wake up, it's like, is today the day that everyone's going to think I'm not funny anymore? You know what I mean? So that drives you a little bit, where
not being a loser.
right. And also not being, I've seen people, you know, people in the media career get older and start to get out of touch. And I hope I never get to that point. I hope I'm able to walk away before I reach that point. So trying to stay fresh and trying to stay at the top of my game is definitely what motivates me. Yeah.
Dude, sorry to interrupt.
Go ahead.
You look very well rested
I did sleep.
most of the time when I see you.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I wonder if that's accurate or if you just like are in beast mode at all times.
I'm not well rested. I did sleep like 11 hours on Friday, but that was because I went to sleep at 8 o'clock. So that's the only way I can pull that off. Usually I'm sleeping like, I usually go to bed around midnight and I get up around 6:37. So I'm not really well rested. I'm lucky enough to not need like an insane amount of sleep. There are people like that who like, I don't
do.
know. You do?
Yeah.
How much sleep do you get?
If I don't get 8 hours of sleep, I'm a completely different person.
Oh, damn.
And I try not to be. It sounds dramatic, like well, you could choose, and I'm sure that when I have kids, there's no chance of that happening. But I fundamentally, if I feel bleary eyed and delirious.
So right now I'm on 4.5 hours.
Yeah, like I went
to sleep at 2 last night and I got up at 6:30.
I wouldn't be talking much on the pod.
It's probably the Zen. I told you I saved it for you guys. I fucking saved it for you guys.
Thank you. Dude.
Okay, well then, all right. So
the 11 hours helps. The cumulative.
Yeah, the Friday. Yeah, that
like,
was
that
after the
works for
case
me.
race. I needed that after the case
yeah,
race.
you can
Yeah.
kind of bank a
Yeah.
little bit. So it sounds like you have a real earnest desire to see this all through.
Yeah.
Right. And what does seeing it through mean to you? When will you know? Wow, we did it. I like Thanos. Now I can rest with a weary world or whatever the hell he says.
I honestly think it's when everyone around me is set up to do it on their own. Like that's as simple as it gets. When I get to a point where and obviously I'm not talking about PFT because he could do it on his own, right now. We're very much, co-partners in all of this, but like everyone around me who is climbing that mountain with me, I hope that one day I just wake up and I look around and I'm like, yo, you guys got this.
Mhm.
And I can, take a step back and still do stuff, but that would be the moment where, and I think Dave's kind of gotten to that moment a little bit where it's like, he sees me, he sees, Kevin, he sees all these people like, okay, like I don't have to work insane hours because you guys kind of got this. So having that similar feeling where it's like, one day I hope to just look around and be like, everyone that is working with me and creating content with me, they're good. And people are going to be just as invested in them as they are in me. And that will be a great day. Like it will be a truly great day.
Well,
That's sick.
But that also comes, that is one of the things that comes with, with age, confidence, money. Like if you asked me that like 7 years ago, I'd be like, fuck that. I want to be the best. I don't want anyone else to, be ahead of me. Now it's like, okay, I have I'm kind of set up. So it's like now I can start focusing on that second phase where it's like making sure everyone else is set up equally.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, crazy.
In sports media, who are you chasing? Who's ahead of you?
I mean, podcast wise, I don't think anyone. And that might sound cocky. I also PFT and I joke all the time because in sports media, there's a lot of people who will say they're number one just to like say it, and then people will believe it. And we've been number one for a long time, so you can't really say you're number one when you're number one, because then you're just a dick. You know what I mean?
True.
Mm.
You just
So
say,
we-
oh, the rest of the players are playing very hard.
Yeah, right.
They're very good.
Right. So it's weird because like I think we probably should toot our own horn a little bit more just to remind people every now and then. But then you're just an asshole. So
Mhm.
I think sports media too. Like there are so many unique voices. So Pardon My Take's number one podcast, but other people are doing stuff that's number one in like radio, TV, all these things. It's just everyone can eat. There doesn't have to be. You can like a lot of different things. I don't like when people are like, "Oh, I don't like. I'm a fan of this podcast, and I hate these guys." Like, why not?
Yeah.
If you like listening to sports, why not listen to multiple things?
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting, dude. Well, how do you prioritize what games you're going to watch? Because we always are like, Big Cat must just be watching 20 different games in a given day.
So yeah, I have 3 TVs in my house, in my living room. I actually have 3 TVs on the other wall in my office. So I'm always watching games. It's usually just whatever I bet on though.
Gotcha.
And I'll like do, it's like whatever I'm betting on, and then usually like like the Bulls or something, or the Cubs in the summer, and then another game that I'm betting on. I'm gonna upgrade that though. I think I'm gonna go 7 TVs
In one room?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I think a big TV and then 3 on each side.
Like a commodities
Yeah.
trader.
Wow.
And just
That's
Yeah.
sick.
because it is nice to be able to just see it all.
Sure.
And just be like, all right, I'm watching all. I mean, it is funny. People will like, I'll tweet about one game. They're like, how are you not watching this game? It's like, brother, I'm fucking watching it. I'm watching all of it.
Well, I'm watching them
Don't you
all.
worry.
I'm watching
You
it.
want to
We're
talk
watching it all.
about not being able to sleep? Imagine the stimulation of 7 games that you've bet on. You're
It's
right
great.
before bed.
It's heaven.
Yeah.
Like on a Saturday, on a college football Saturday, just having all the
Every
games
game.
on and having all the bets.
Yeah.
That's my happy place.
Yeah.
What's the biggest bet you've ever placed? Most
so I
you've
do,
ever risked on a game.
Yeah, so I do game of the years. Game of the year bets usually are about 35, 40.
Wow.
Oh my god.
There's your paddock right
Yeah.
there, by the way.
And you could tell, I bet, like when people watch it on the stream, they know. And then I think the most is 50.
Does losing that hurt you?
Oh yeah, dude. I don't say. I had a game of the year, Baylor BYU over. It was 11 o'clock kickoff, and the game went forever. It went to like 2:30 in the morning. I got immediately sick that week after because it was like it took every ounce out of me. I was fighting for it so hard because when I say I'm going to bet something big, I'm betting it big.
Mhm.
And people who ride with me, like I'm not just saying, like I think that's what I think people appreciate, that when Dave and I are like, we're making a big bet on this game. It's not like other gambling spaces where people are just throwing shit at the wall, or they don't even get, like some of these companies have spokespeople that don't even gamble. Like when we say we're going to do it, we're going to do it.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big bet, and we're in it with you. Like we're riding this. So, and I mean, those are very fun nights when they win. When they lose, I get sick.
A
Yeah,
family
my body
man
just
on all accounts.
Yeah, my body was like, you just gave it all, and I left it all out on the field, and it was just like
It's more injured
done.
than the quarterback.
Oh yeah. Now, listen, I made this argument, like, dude, NFL players, like, you want to talk? Okay, concussions, I get it, that's bad. Like ACL, whatever, injuries. I think it's harder to gamble on every game on a Sunday than play in the NFL, because they just play their one game, and they actually get to like contribute to the outcome of the game. I have to sit there and just sweat every game.
You don't get to sleep in an oxygen chamber that night.
Right.
You don't have the best hands in
That's right.
sports medicine.
Right, like
rubbing
Patrick
you down.
Mahomes gets a fucking high ankle sprain. He's got a round-the-clock care.
Yeah.
I lose BYU Baylor over. I'm stuck.
There goes the massage. You
Yeah, I
would've
got
paid for.
I got Zycam and fucking NyQuil. Like that's it.
Yeah.
So it's
got
not
Zins.
fair. Yeah,
Oh,
right.
got the Zins.
It's not fair.
Well, do your kids hang with you while you're watching sports?
They're starting. My son's starting to get into it a little bit. That's where actually the 3 TVs helps, because we'll put on like Sesame Street and I'll have the games on underneath. Yeah, no, there's been a few moments. I think there was, what was it? It was Father's Day and my son's birthday, I think, was the same day, maybe last year or the year before. And it was also the U.S. Open. I had Will Zalatoris, like, it's like maybe $3,000 to win 50, and he missed. Remember that putt
Of course,
he missed?
Yeah. On 18.
And my son does know. He'll be like, Dad, needs a break. I'll be like, I need 10 minutes here. Like that. What just happened? Like we need a timeout, and then we're back to like, I'll build you a fort, but I need a timeout. So yeah, Father's Day. I remember I made like we had family over, everything. I was just like, just a heads up, everyone. Like it's like the 17th, hole. Is like, just a heads up, everyone. We really need Will Zalatoris, and this could change the outcome of the day. So everyone fucking focus. And so, yeah, I mean, it's I think that, eventually they'll get to a point where they'll appreciate it, and probably kids will like what their parents like and all that stuff.
Yeah. That's fun. Do you have rules in regard to like gambling with your children?
Yeah, I mean, I hope that they I mean responsibly. Like I do believe in that, and I do think like that's the other part. It's weird. We get a lot of criticism, Barstool does, about our gambling content, and I would still make the argument that we are the most authentic. And like, so whenever we have to deal with regulators and stuff, all these other companies will just walk right through, and then they'll be like, Barstool, oh no, like you can't have Barstool. It's like I'm a loser. I'm a lifelong loser. Gambling, like, no, people don't win gambling. I admit that I'm a loser. Like, I'm real. You know what I mean? I'm not pretending that I'm making money gambling. I like to do it as a hobby. I bet the amount of money that I can afford. Mm-hmm. It's obviously gone up as I've made more money, and people should bet what they can afford. They should, if it's something you enjoy, if it's a hobby you enjoy, do it as a hobby. Like, you're not going to end up being able to quit your job to gamble.
Right.
And so I try to say these things, and I do say these things, and then regulators would be like, "Oh, Barstool's so irresponsible." It's like, we are the most authentic. I tell you that, like, don't follow my picks. I'm a loser. And then a lot of other places will do content where they're like, you know, guaranteed winner, or like, this is, we always win. It's like, no, dude, I'm a loser. I lose a lot. A lot. Okay? You've heard it in my throat there.
Often and for large amounts.
Yeah, but I love to do it. It's a hobby of mine. And I've never gotten into a point where I've been, you know, gambling over my head because, like I said, I've always been like, all right, this is what I have, my discretionary income. I don't go on trips. I don't have like a lavish life. So my hobby is gambling, and that's what I use my money for. And people should do the same thing, where it's like, if you have money set aside, that's not going to screw up your rent or your family or anything, because it is dangerous if you start dipping into that stuff. Be smart about it, but if you enjoy it, there shouldn't be shame about it. You know what I mean? Like, if it's something you enjoy doing, you should do it, and you should have fun doing it, and know that at the end of the day, you probably aren't going to win, but that doesn't mean it can't not be fun.
Totally. Well said, dude.
Yeah.
Well said. Awesome.
Interesting.
Dude, my pal Hill Dog, man, she does this thing where she will, if she's wide awake, she'll sort of wake me up. Like, we have a stuffed animal. She'll sort of insert him on my shoulder.
Oh, that's nice.
And then begin to reposition him until I wake up. And then she's like, oh, look who's up.
I like this game. I like this game.
But I noticed the other day she was holding a mug in her hand, and I could smell the fumes of hot coffee that she had prepared for herself as part of her new morning routine. And you know for a fact that part of that, an integral part of that, is Brooklyn Roasting Company coffee.
Wow. Much better than the anthropomorphic stuffed animal that is perched on your shoulder. I don't know if anthropomorphic is the right word, to be honest with you. That's giving human qualities to animals, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah, we do that.
Okay.
Yes.
Like, we sometimes say if someone were to behead one of our stuffed animals, how upset we would be uncomfortable for our guests. Because, like, we had these people over and they brought their dog, and he was really close to grabbing one of the stuffed animals. If he had ruined him, I don't know how we would have continued entertaining. And that's kind of crazy.
Why don't you guys just go?
Yeah.
Maybe you guys should just go.
Maybe you guys should go.
Let's call it. That's tough.
But anyway, dude, Brooklyn Roasting Company
Brooklyn
is
Roasting,
the opposite of that feeling.
You know, they're also, by the way, espresso martinis are, I've seen them everywhere. I've never seen a drink catch on the way that this has.
AKA the Ryan.
The Ryan. The Ryan is when you have 4 of them.
I'll be up all night.
Yeah. Guys, go get yourself some Brooklyn Roasting Company Oops Beans. My God, how many times do we have to tell you? If you haven't tried it yet, try our coffee from this incredible roastery. They make our coffee, the Oops Blend. You can go to brooklynroasting.com, promo code Oops Beans, 5% off your order. Get a bunch. Get a bunch. You never know when they're going to sell out. brooklynroasting.com, promo code Oops Beans. Let me ask you this. You know, you look back, you've been at Barstool Sports for, I don't know, what, 15 years
That's
more?
like 11, 12.
Okay. 12 years. At what point, was there a moment where you said, oh, wow, this is going to work out? And, you know, how did that look at that time? And then when was it then that you realized it was probably going to work out from a gambling perspective, that gambling was the route?
Yeah. So it's funny because the churning deal was that moment. And before that moment, and Dave and Kevin and I have talked about this, we were not in a great spot, like the three of us, because I think Kevin and I both felt pressure. I don't know, we were 30 years old, and we both felt pressure like, hey, what is the plan here? Like, are we going to be blogging for the rest of our lives? Are we going to be sitting in our apartments just doing this, like grinding out, 12, 13, 14-hour days, just sitting on our computers? Like, there was definitely a moment where everything I said about never wanting to leave Barstool, that wasn't there. Like, there was a real moment of, is there something else? Should I be trying to get something else? Is there a different step? And then, thankfully, the Churning Group came along, and Dave told us that these guys came along. They want to invest. They want to have everyone move to New York. And from that point on, it was, okay, this is a career, and this is something that I can enjoy and make money on. And that flipped everything, because I do think there was a moment where I don't want to say that we were going to, like, I can't speak for Kevin. I wasn't gonna quit, but I was definitely like, what if I want to have a family? If I want to do all these things, can I do this with just blogging? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Can we do this without a next step in the career somewhere? And I thought about going to business school. I went to an MBA class, like I did a test class. That was a enlightening moment because I remember I paid like $2,000 or something for this test class, and I was just in the back row looking at scores for not the NCAA tournament, the CBI and the CIT.
The NIT.
Yeah, like I was just refreshing my phone, like being like, oh fuck, I really need like Oregon State like versus random team in the not even the NIT. I'm talking like the really shitty tournaments.
Yeah.
And that moment, and then I just bombed the what's it called? What's the NBA test?
The GMAT?
GMAT. I bombed it.
Yeah.
Duh, because I didn't pay attention. I didn't learn any of the tricks because I was just focused on gambling. So
Yeah.
that was another one. I was like, okay, well, we got to just keep riding this
We gotta
because
figure
I
this
don't
out.
have any other
Yeah.
skills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you making money before that deal happened? Like when you the 13, 14-hour days? Situation?
We were making like decent salaries. I want to say we were, I want to say before that deal, I think we were all around like $75K a year. So it wasn't like, with no kids and that's a good
Solid,
living. Like
yeah.
I wasn't like we were scraping by, but it also, if you're thinking about the future, it's like, all right, can I make $75K and have, multiple children but keep working these many hours? Like that
Right.
might not always, work out. So,
Mhm.
Totally.
it was around there. And, the churning group changed everything. Like the move to New York, and we were, I don't know, like 10 people when we moved to New York. What is it, 400 now?
Yeah.
So
Crazy.
the whole thing just exploded. And then Penn was a perfect marriage just because that's going back to the authenticity. Like Dave is very similar to me, where it's like, if we just had unlimited money, we would just gamble for the rest of our, you know what I mean? Like it's what we like to do. So it wasn't like, oh man, how are we going to pitch a gambling company? It's like, no, that's what we want to do. We want to
Yeah.
be in this space. We want to talk gambling.
That's so cool, dude.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I had a somewhat eerily similar moment in my life where I was doing stand-up open mics in New York for a couple years after college and wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
And I was like, Jesus, this is not possible. And I started studying for the LSAT. And I actually got into law school.
Which one?
Fordham.
Oh,
It was just fine.
kind of beneath you,
I got-
Francis.
Dude, I got full-blown-
Damn.
I got full-blown
Damn.
rejected from the top 15.
Yeah.
And I thought I would get into one. And it was just letter after letter after letter of no. And I had done well. I'd done pretty well in the LSAT. I really worked hard for
Do you
it.
think the people at Fordham were like, why is this guy applying?
No. I mean,
easy yes.
Fordham was like
Yeah.
Bring
was
him
like
on.
22nd in the country at that time in terms of the rankings.
You were definitely just scouring the rankings.
Of course. Of course.
got it.
But
Those rankings are such bullshit. Do you know that they like the people who do those rankings, who what is it, Princeton Review?
Mhm.
They like just go and get wined and dined at all these universities.
Is that right?
Yeah, they it's complete bullshit. Like they show up to Yale or Stanford and they show them the best time and they they take them out to the nicest dinners, and that's just all it is. It's just networking.
Interesting. I mean, I know that sometimes they'll post like the average salary for first year graduates from the schools, and that
Doesn't
some
line up.
those no they
Oh, it
do.
does? Oh, it
Really?
does? Oh.
Those people
Yeah, that
they
makes
do.
sense. That
Okay.
makes sense.
But
Yeah.
then also from that, like people from MIT are making a ton of money.
Right.
Um,
Specialized.
But I think a lot of people go through the same thing. The late 20s, it's kind of like a quarter life crisis
Yeah.
where you right after college, you have a few years where you're kind of still in that college mindset, wanting to go out a bunch, not really taking your work seriously. And then you wake up one day and you're, 27, 28, 29, you're like, okay, so what's
Yeah.
the plan here? What am I going to do? Like, if you don't have a set. I was always jealous of people who went to school for like engineering or something. And it's like, you're going
You know
to
what you're gonna do.
be an engineer and you're going to get, a job at an engineering firm. You're going to work your way up and it's all kind of right in front of you. For a lot of people, where they don't really know what they want to do, that crisis kind of hits, and you're
Mhm.
like, all right, what makes me happy, and what can I do?
Mm.
So I think a lot of people go to. I think it's a very relatable moment in your late 20s where you're
Yeah.
like, what's the plan here?
Well, I mean, I went to law school for 4 days, and
You actually went?
Yeah, I paid.
So you were a Fordham
law student.
attendee?
I still have my student ID.
So when you introduce yourself, you should be like Fordham, not Harvard, because that's the most recent college you went to.
yeah, I know.
Am I right?
No,
I mean, I think that's plays. Like
Is that
that's
what you're supposed to do?
Yeah, I think it's
don't know if
whichever
that's
one you went to most recently.
what you're supposed to do.
So
No.
wait, so you went to classes?
Yeah.
You paid.
I paid a deposit, which was $2,000. Ironically, same
Yeah.
exact amount that you paid for your GMAT
Yeah,
prep
yeah.
course, and that was sort of to hold my spot in the class. And for that first week, they had told you it was sort of like a shopping. You get to sort of see what the coursework is going to be like. And my entire process towards it had been one of, well, I don't really know what I want to do with my life, so I think law school will give me a lot of options. And there were a lot of people I admired who had gone to law school, but who were not lawyers.
Okay.
At that time, Obama, for
Politicians.
example.
That was what you were going for?
Well, like,
President
I
of the
knew-
United States?
I knew
Many
he'd been.
presidents.
Fuck?
I knew he'd been a lawyer, but he'd also been a community leader. Like, you could go into politics.
Yeah, I'm on the Obama path. What? What are you doing with your life? Well, you know that guy Obama?
yeah.
I'm kind of
Wanna be
following in
like
his
that.
footsteps a little bit.
There were a lot of great examples of people that were not lawyers but who had gone to law school. So I thought it gave you a lot of optionality. And sure enough, as soon as I arrived, every single professor there that was giving us these lectures and things, their entire rhetoric was one of, you will be a lawyer. You're being trained to be a lawyer.
Right.
And that was a huge wake-up call for me because I was like, I don't know that I want to be a lawyer.
Was that a thrill, though, like dropping out? You're a Fordham dropout.
Yeah.
Wow.
It
You are a
was-
Fordham dropout.
It was very...
Fuck Harvard. You're a Fordham dropout. You couldn't hang in the Bronx. In the Bronx?
Oh yeah.
It wasn't
couldn't
even
hang.
it wasn't even the Bronx. It was their satellite campus in Columbus Circle or whatever.
Okay, all right.
Lincoln Center.
Yeah.
Lincoln Center, yeah. But I remember like they told us which textbooks we'd have to buy, and they were super expensive. And not to be like, this was before my family had the money that it does now. So like things were, and also I knew that in terms of law school tuition, I was going to have to take student loans,
Right.
and stuff like that. And it was the night before we had to pay our first semester's tuition, which I think was you paid for the fall semester, and I think it was like $26,000. And I was just looking at that, and I was super torn, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm not ready to make a decision this huge.
Right.
And I don't know that I was ready to say I don't want to do it, but I was definitely less ready to say I do want to do this.
No, you can't hang with Fordham. That's pretty clear.
Yeah.
You saw the big dogs and you're like, not for me.
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair.
No, that had to be a thrill though. Like I remember, it is very
Relief.
Yeah,
it
not-
was a
not-
huge relief.
not close to it, but on a similar wavelength. I remember, I think it was either freshman or sophomore year at Wisconsin. I tried to do an accounting class because I was like, oh, I should probably learn how to like do numbers. I walked in first day. They showed something on the big screen. Then they're like, this class is graded on a curve. And I just got my shit and walked out. And I was like, not for me. Like, I know I can't beat the curve. I'm a fucking moron. So like, that's a thrill though. Just be like, there's something people need to realize, like quitting shit is kind of fun. And it's good to know when you're like Francis, like the intellects of Fordham were way bigger than him. Like he can't handle that.
That's right.
Just being like, you know what? No mas, throw in the white towel. I don't want
Gotta
to
cut your losses sometimes.
Yeah.
Don't start live betting when the odds get worse and worse. You know,
Mhm.
gotta cut your losses.
So it's a good life lesson.
Yeah,
Francis couldn't hang at Fordham.
We
You shouldn't have told me that.
I still have that idea.
I love this.
I still have it.
This is great.
The last thing I'll say was the hardest part of that whole decision was that I knew that my girlfriend at the time, her family was really excited for me to be a lawyer.
Oh.
And my own parents were super like, do whatever, we trust that you'll do what you want.
Yeah.
And having to tell my girlfriend at the time's parents that I had dropped out was 100 times more daunting
Yeah.
than telling my own parents.
Damn.
Beginning of the end.
And they
Right.
kind of gave me one of those like, no, I get it, we get it. I'm sure
You're not cut
sure
out
you had
for
your
it.
own reasons, like that
Damn.
kind of thing. And
Yeah,
then-
but you know what? I think that I mean, when I started blogging and working for Barstool, I don't think there was a single person, friends or family, that thought it was a good idea.
Mhm.
That's
They're
the
like, "You're a
beauty of
fucking
it.
idiot."
How
Yeah.
how satisfying is that feeling?
Oh,
When everybody's like, "Oh, so what are you doing on the side?" They love hearing that you're failing.
yeah,
And then when you turn the corner, it's the biggest fuck you. in the
yeah.
world.
Oh,
It's
big time.
Yeah, but
Big
hold
time.
on. Who are you hearing from
everybody,
whose
bro.
minds changed?
Dude, they were all sneak dissing back in the day, bro.
Oh yeah.
That's fine.
Oh, so you're a comedian. What? So what's your like actual job?
Yeah,
Like,
but-
Yeah.
but
Oh, you're a
that shit.
blogger?
Where
Oh,
where
okay.
is where is the collection of those people who are coming forward and saying I was wrong about you?
They in
No,
their
they-
behavior, the
yeah.
way that they like regard me with more respect or some
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
As petty as it is, dude, you feel the vibes and you're like,
For
Interesting.
sure.
okay,
Yep.
you're my bitch now.
Yeah.
dude.
Like
don't
I was
know-
a smut blogger. Now
Yeah.
I'm a smut blogger / podcaster. What's up?
Yeah,
Like,
what's up?
fuck you now. Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know this I don't know. I can't think of a moment in my life where anyone has said to me, "We didn't think this would work out for you. We're impressed with how you're doing."
No,
But they don't
they're-
have to
they
say
don't-
it.
Yeah, you can tell. I guarantee you, there's many people in your life who, when you said you were going to give comedy a try,
You're talking
they're like,
shit.
he's not that funny.
Correct.
Yeah, and they might still say that today. Like people go to your shows and stuff, but no,
Damn.
no, but no,
Damn.
no, but Julio's right.
I need a Zen.
Yeah, Julio's right. Julio is right that there are people who definitely like doubted you, and they won't ever say it,
Mhm.
but they doubted you, and you can tell by the way they interact with you now, where they're like, because when you take a risk like that, afterwards they now are like, fuck, Francis is killing it, and he's doing a job he loves, and he's like doing great at it. They're jealous,
Yeah.
and it's a great feeling
Yeah.
to have.
It may be. It may be. I unfortunately am surrounded by a lot of people who are just, no matter what, doing so much better financially than I am, making so much more
Can't
money.
Think about that.
I know, but it's you tell yourself, well, at least I get to do something I love, and they probably don't love their jobs as much as I do, but they're never going to admit that to you, and so I don't get that satisfaction. By contrast, I don't
Just
get any of
think
that.
about it though. Like, think about the person, and this isn't a diss because people, whatever. People find joy in different things. Like there are people who genuinely love being a lawyer. There are people
Yeah.
who genuinely love being an engineer. Like all these
Yeah.
different jobs. But I think there's also a lot of people who are making really good money, but aren't enjoying their
Yeah.
day-to-day life, and there's stress and constraints on them where you don't have that. And
Yeah.
that is worth so much more money. Like to do a job that you don't like for your entire life because the pay is good, you're gonna win in the end. I'm saying, like,
I get
because you are gonna have a lot more of a fulfilled life when you wake up one day and you're like, man, I think about it sometimes. I'll just be like, fuck, I've gotten to do some really fun shit.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Mhm.
I've done some awesome things that
And like you said, it's hard to reflect on it because you're so busy focusing on the next thing, not falling off, not being out of touch, that you don't enjoy the
Right.
fun, cool shit you do.
And money. People are gonna watch this and be like, "Well, dude, you can say that now because you have money." But I really can look back, and even if I didn't have the money, it's like I got to do some awesome shit
Yeah.
that you can't buy through like the experiences I've had, the people I've met, the interviews I've been able to do. That stuff is like incredible.
Mm-hmm.
So
Totally.
I think you're doing just fine.
No, and for the record, I have so much gratitude, and I have so much awareness of my privileged position and what I do for work, and I'm so grateful for it. I just mean that the group of people around me, I don't.
Yeah, you need new friends.
I-
Sounds like your friends suck.
I don't.
The
I
more you
don't-
explain it, I think you just need new friends. I also will say this: this podcast, Francis gave me the lowdown, Julio. The one time that I did carpool with him, never again. But he told me, and you guys should be like insanely proud of what you built because
we are.
it's
Thank
you guys took a risk on yourself. He told me about like going and buying all the equipment and all you guys being with him from the beginning. Like that's awesome. That a lot of people can't say that they went out and took a risk on themselves and bet on themselves. And to have that, like, that's worth so much. To be like, I took a risk. I knew there was a chance to fail, because a lot of people live their life and they never take that chance to fail because they're scared of it, and they're like, I'm going to live comfortably. You guys did the opposite, and you're like, fuck it. We're going to take a risk. We're going to go make something, and now it's a big thing. That's fucking cool.
Dude, let's go.
Appreciate you. Thanks.
Yeah,
Thank
no,
you.
seriously.
That's
Dude,
really nice.
Real quick
Proud.
before we wrap it up, I want to ask you one question.
Yeah.
Because in regard to what you just said, some of the cool interviews you've done, whatever, I think one of the funniest, best interviews I've seen in recent past was you interviewing Zac Efron in the back of a van.
Yes.
Dude, that was fucking hilarious. Is he as cool as he seemed after that interview? Because I'm now a massive fan of Zac Efron after watching that.
He was as cool, maybe more cool than what it showed, because we went, so I had a mutual friend with him, and the mutual friend was like, hey, like, Zac Efron listens to PMT. He and his brother, like, have it on all the time. And I was like, all right, well, we're going to be out in LA. Like, let's link up. We just showed up to his house, and we just hung out for, like, 4 hours.
No way.
Wow.
To the point where after, like, hanging out for 3 or 4 hours, we're like, all right, you ready to do the interview? And Zac Efron didn't even know we were doing an interview.
Oh,
He
wow.
thought we were just coming to hang out.
Oh.
Yeah, we were
so
like,
much
no,
cooler.
this kind of sucks, but like, we were here for a reason. Like,
Yeah.
you are cool, and we want to hang out with you, but we also really want to get an interview. But yeah, that's a great example of one that's like, how did that happen?
That's crazy.
Like
dude.
Zac Efron, we hung out with him at his house in LA for an afternoon and just had a great time,
Love that.
just
Fucking
like shooting the
sick, dude.
shit. So yeah,
Pretty sick, dude. Thank you,
Yeah, dude.
Big Cat.
Yes,
thanks for coming on, man.
Coming on, Oops, man.
Appreciate it.
It was such an illuminating and awesome time.
yeah. Anytime you guys want me back on, I'm
I mean,
here.
every episode would be
you
good
know,
for us.
Listen, I'm gonna have to bring
It's
up
Oops, the
that Fordham
podcast.
thing. Yeah,
Featuring Big
you don't
Cat.
want that.
Big Cat's new pod.
Fordham
Do you-
Francis,
Do
who
your
has a
friends
ring to
watch
it.
this podcast?
Some do. Yeah,
Okay.
but that's
any,
okay.
Any that suck?
They, they're
You know who I'm
making
talking about.
they're
One of
making
you
enough
sucks.
money that they won't be bothered by what we said.
No, but deep down, they
You might
know.
get to him.
They know we hit them good. Where they're like,
Yeah.
you're living a life unfulfilled.
Oh,
Nice paycheck, bro.
yeah,
Francis is doing better than you.
yeah, but they've got the radiant heated floors already.
Nah,
you know?
fuck that.
Overrated.
You're living way. They're gonna have a midlife crisis
Let's
where
hope.
they get a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
And they get like a fucking cool little car and, you know, a 20-year-old girlfriend, and you have won. Like, they'll have a little
All right.
ponytail, leather jacket,
Yeah.
and clip this and just show it to. I know who you're talking about. There's at least 3 guys I'm talking about right now. That's gonna suck for you, bro.
Awesome. That's Big Cat. You can catch him on Pardon My Take and everything else he does. He's amazing. Thank you so much, dude. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
guys. Appreciate it.
Awesome.
Guys,
well,
sorry.
G, you got any shows coming up?
Well, first, let's see if we got a couple facts with Ryan
Facts
here.
with Ryan. Facts with Ryan.
All right, we have a couple. Sour Grapes, the documentary you guys were talking about, that's free on YouTube. So check that out.
Check it out.
The average American sleeps only 6.8 hours a night.
Damn.
Wow.
All right.
And UNC Wilmington won the 2022 CBI tournament, the College Basketball Invitational.
Uh-huh.
And that's all we got today.
That's
Phenomenal,
it. Facts
Ryan.
with
Thank
Ryan.
you so much.
What about you, G? Where can we find you performing live stand-up comedy?
DC Improv, the 3rd through the 5th of March. I'm at Comedy Connection in Providence, Rhode Island, April 14th and 15th. And then the 27th to the 29th of April, Yonkers Comedy Club, notjulio.com for tickets.
Awesome. Guys, I'll be at Minneapolis House of Comedy. That's the first weekend of March, I think. Yeah, early March. And also Long Beach in Long Island, excuse me, the Beach House. That's February 26th. And then I'm on to, from there, of course, Austin, Dallas, and Chicago, and San Francisco with Lil Sasquatch. Guys, you can get tickets for all of that. The Hero We Need tour at francisellis.com. That's Oops the Podcast. Thanks so much. And check us out on YouTube on our channel, Oops the Podcast, and follow us on Instagram, on TikTok. And we are so glad to have you. Thank you.